My friend R.C. Munoz lives in Richmond, Texas. We stayed at her house right after Harvey. We came down here to see if we could be helpful, and she very kindly let us stay on her floor.
Oh, that was nice of her.
Okay, I'm going to introduce you, Eliz. So, hey everybody, I'm in Fort Bend, Texas, in House District 28 with our candidate to represent House District 28 in the Texas State Legislature, and by extension, help to flip the state house so that Democrats have a majority and we can work on issues that are important to people in Texas, like being able to see a doctor, or having some gun sense legislation, or working on climate change, or making sure that every child can go to a world-class public school. And the urgency around this is Eliz has an election on January 28th, so a little more than a month from now. This is a seat that's been long held by Republicans. If you were to win, Eliz, it would be the first time a Democrat has held this seat in a very long time.
Absolutely. And the first woman.
And the first woman. And an amazing person who I've had a chance to get to know. Grew up in the district. Her dad was in the oil and gas industry. She went to high school in Katy.
Yes.
Born in Sugar Land.
Born in Sugar Land.
And working in education. She has a PhD. She's brilliant. I'm learning so much from her right now on this drive to go meet some of her volunteers who are canvassing right now, meaning they're knocking on doors, getting people out to vote or committing to vote on January 28th, or when early voting begins, which is January 21st.
21st.
I got my facts straight?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
7 to 7.
Eliz, this is kind of a speed round of dating with our viewers on Facebook.
Love it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why they should be interested in this race.
Yeah, so hi everybody, my name is Eliz. I'm running for House District 28. We are the first House District that is going to flip in 2020 and set the tone for the rest of 2020. My platform includes high quality public education. We need to get rid of those standardized tests, which are absolutely worthless and should not be linked to school funding, and make sure that every student is prepared to be a productive member of the global society in which we live. We also need to make sure that we're taking care of our teachers. They haven't had a cost of living increase or adjustment on their health care since the early 2000s. And so the majority of their money is going to healthcare bills, just like the rest of us, though. I know personally my premiums have gone up 300% over the past 5 years.
And this is a state, for folks who don't know, that has still refused to expand Medicaid. The least insured state in the country. $10 billion in
Medicaid funding on the table last session. Medicaid funding that had already come out of our paychecks that we just left on the table because unfortunately our Republican colleagues refused to release it, essentially.
Somebody wants to find out more about you. They want to donate to your campaign. They want to sign up to volunteer, just like I've signed up to volunteer for you. They go to Eliz, which is E-L-I-Z, the number 4, and the letters TX. So Eliz for Texas, but spelled E-L-I-Z, number 4, TX.com.
That's perfect, yes.
Make a donation. I've made a donation. Good friends of mine have made a donation. Folks who are on our email list have made donations. Join us in doing this. We're running against somebody who is self-funded, who spent $1.2 million of their own money in the run-up to this runoff, and has publicly said he'd spend $500,000 more. Your $5, $10, $15 will go a long way to making sure that Eliz is the next representative for House District 28, and then joins a majority of Democrats going into 2020, which is a redistricting year. So important to confront the racial gerrymandering that we have in Texas, and underscores the need for new Voting Rights Act. This is something that we can all get behind, but this is only going to happen if we win really important but really difficult races like this one. So you could go to Eliz, E-L-I-Z, 4TX.com, make a donation, sign up to volunteer, and knock on doors just like Eliz and I are going to do right now. Anything else on our speed round? I know I'm looking at we've got 5 minutes till we're at our destination. Anything else you want folks to know about this race?
I mean, we could just talk about how important it is to flip this seat and then flip 8 more seats. As you mentioned a second ago, this is in 2021, we will face redistricting, and we have an opportunity, if we take control of the Texas House, to actually form an independent redistricting committee. My opponent...
So no politicians allowed, no state reps drawing their own districts.
Right, we'd actually allow people to choose their politicians instead of vice versa, which has been happening.
I like that.
And let's be honest, if we don't take control and the maps are redrawn and they're gerrymandered, we are going to be stuck for another 10, potentially 20 years until we can actually make a difference again. And gerrymandering may not be the sexiest topic, right?
It's pretty sexy.
I mean, go gerrymandering, right? But if we don't do that, we're not going to be able to vote for high quality public education, flood control and mitigation. In HD 28, we've had 400- or 500-year floods in the past 5 years. And
you guys understand climate change perhaps better than anyone else, right? You've lived through 400- or 500-year floods.
Yeah, in the past 5 years. So you would think we'd be set for 2,000 years, but we know that's not the case. We know that it's just right around the corner, and unless we actually shore up the infrastructure around here, we're not going to have an environment for our kids to live in. This is such an important election. I know everyone's like, oh, this is the most important election of our lifetimes. But in Texas, if we can flip these 9 seats, we will be able to make some radical changes that will be beneficial to everyone within this district, HD 28, everyone within Fort Bend County, and everyone within Texas at large. And we can set the tone for the country as well and tell people that change is coming.
Let me approach it this way, see if you agree. So if you at home or at work watching this right now want to defeat Donald Trump, one of the best ways for us to do this is to defeat him in Texas, which has 38 electoral college votes. It is the motherlode of electoral college votes, the largest swing state in the country. If you want to replace John Cornyn, who is the errand boy for Donald Trump in the United States Senate, is one of his closest allies, is enabling the kind of corruption and lawlessness that we're seeing out of the White House right now, then we're going to have to win that Senate race in Texas. If you want to hold on to the U.S. congressional seats that we picked up in 2018, Lizzie Panel Fletcher not too far from here in Houston, Colin Allred in North Texas, and add 6 more Democrats to increase our majority in the House, that's here in Texas. And if you want to take control of the state legislature for the first time in nearly 30 years, you're going to have to invest in and pay attention to and volunteer here in Texas. And for all of that to come to pass, we're going to have to be working at the grassroots neighborhood level in House district races, just like Eliz's. And Eliz's happens to be one of the very first to take place. That's January 28th of this coming year. So this could be a harbinger for those other state house races, the U.S. congressional races, the U.S. Senate race, and the presidential race. All of it could start right now. And if you make a donation, if you volunteer to knock on doors and come down, I'm here, what is it, a 12-hour drive from El Paso, Texas, to knock on doors with Eliz for the next 2 days. Come on down and join us, or make a donation if you can't come on down, or do both as I have done. And you can go to Eliz for Texas, so it's ELIZ 4TX.com, and you can sign up, make a donation, learn more about Eliz's amazing platform on all the issues that we care about. So Eliz, we're going to sign off because we're about to meet your canvassers. Thank you for running. Thank you to everyone.
For coming down.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to everyone who's watching and who will be supporting Eliz Markowitz in her race to represent House District 28 here in the great state of Texas.